Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to OTL Racing here on Twitch for a new season of the touring cars on Project Cars 2 on Xbox One. So as you can see at Watkins, Glen short tonight for the first round. Haven't driven here for a good few seasons, so yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. Evening Tam, AJ, J-Hig, Lega, good evening to you all. Hope you are doing well. So yes, the usual small grids but packed full of action, very close grids as well in this championship. So I expect we're going to see some cracking fighting. So looking forward to seeing how it goes this evening. Chaos, good luck tonight. See how you fare in these touring cars. So there we go, on to the track now. So they're leaving the grid nice and quickly, usual format. Yeah, does he though? Someone drawn one on him. He's not going to have the patience to grow that on purpose, is he? Surely not. So yeah, everyone will qualify this first session. Only time everybody qualifies all season. So after this week, the first race of the evening, you will see the top three not qualify in the standings for the first race, and then the races after that. Oh, poor thing. I want to see a photo. If he's got a moustache, I have to see what it looks like. It might look great with it. And I'll say it if he does, I'll say. So, you know, I'll compliment him if you know, I won't take the mick just for the sake of it. Evening Bean, evening. Oh, I hope not. So, staying on board with Mr. Fisher. They're all out on their first out lap at the start of this championship. It's going to be a fascinating season. It's always interesting to see how the drivers that are up near the top do change from championship to championship. So we saw someone like, for example, Tam, Big Tam. Let's come on with him. Struggled a bit in the Radicals. Actually, he really struggled in the Radicals, but he's been doing very well in previous TC seasons, and also fared very well in the assessment races run before the championship. Can't see that car off. They're letting everyone go past. Not the easiest place to sit and let everyone through. So all these drivers onto their first hot lap now. So fun little circuit this. That first corner up through the S's up onto this long back straight. Coming down towards the little bus stop. Getting the exit right. Very much a slow in, fast out strategy there, I think, is probably the quickest way through. Don't go too hot into the entry of that section, and do I just want to pay for it? And kind of through the long right-hander that was outer loop, and then coming down to the final couple of corners. So 90-degree left. So hug that apex on the inside just enough, but don't want it to get too close or it'll kick you off the curb. And the final right-hand corner again, using the little camber there of the track. So Yoda gets a timing of 1:12.160. Let's see the times coming in. Is anyone able to beat that? Not quite. Tam though gets within a tenth, 98 thousandths off of the top time. So yeah, it's going to be close. This I'm going to be fascinated to see who fares the best. So top 5 already within 3/10 of each other. We've got Crunk Chronic 420. He hasn't got take timing yet, but is that? Yes, he has now. So he's within a second as well. It's not bad for a first lap out. Mr. Fish in the BMW. 3 Beamers in this championship. Evening Hawaiian. Evening. How are you doing? How are things? Hope you've had a good Tuesday. Or having a good Tuesday. Don't quite know where you're based, so could be either. Hey, it could even be Wednesday where you are. We have had a few Australasian drivers, so there's a chance. Yeah, but I hope you're doing well. So looking forward to this. The racing's going to be, I mean, it's touring cars. There's going to be a few panel beaters kept in employment around the tracks we visit. Lots of damage is off, so you know, very much hypothetical. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I know it's going to be very, very close. And that format will work wonders again. I think it should be pretty tight on in the points. I think. Oh, hello. So that's definitely a invalidated lap for Crunk Chronic. That'll annoy him because that will invalidate his next one. Tuesday morning. Fair enough. Of course, you're definitely behind. Yes, you are actually. Are you actually from Hawaii? Which I mean, it would. I don't know if it was just a cool name. You see. Evening, Hydro. Evening. How do? So Mr. Fish still a second off. Was it you? You can struggle a little bit, I think. So the only pad used here, I think, and yeah, in this sort of grid, that might be a bit of a hindrance. You can definitely still be quick on pads, but the rest of the guys, they are some of the quickest on console, so it'll be hard to keep up with. Let's go back on board with. So Tam, only 24 thousandths away from Yoda's time at the moment. Yoda coming around the long left second last corner. So he'll come round to complete another lap. Tam actually only just behind him on circuit. So we're still on board with Tam as he comes across the line. We can see if either of those improve on the low 1:12s they've set previously. Both from Hawaii and slow on track. Oh, yeah, well, I'm not from Hawaii, but I got the other bit nailed. Slow, guilty as charged. Oh, 2 legs up, so that is not going to be a quick lap. So that's ruined that one nice and early. Willie up to just over a tenth back. Got Jay Higg as well. Doesn't improve, just over 2/10 off of pole position. AJ back to the pits. He's only just over 3/10 back. He's in 5th, so again, marginal little gaps here between each car. It won't take much more than just a slightly better one corner around the whole circuit to really fly up the positions. Hope the game sound is everything is okay. Let me know if the volumes are a bit weird or any of that stuff, and yeah, we'll get that sorted, but it should all be good. D-Stack in 6th, so again, he's only nearly 3.5 back, so it's not exactly far. It puts him back in 6th position. Chaos Theory, who we saw really dominate the Radical SR3RS league that went before. Finished a couple of weeks ago. He's, you can see, he might not fare quite as well in these. It's not far back, it's 4/10. It's very little gap, but yeah, back in 7th at the moment. So what they lack in grid size in this championship and on the this game stroke platform, they very much make up for in the quality of the racing. So we're going to see a bit, you know, I'm sure we'll see a bit of rub into racing. We'll see the odd incident. That's just the nature of the game, especially in touring cars, especially when they're all so closely matched. On board with Captain Crampy. So again, no mug, but yeah, a little bit off the pace at the moment. So he's won OTL championships in the days gone by as well. So the guys right at the front at the moment are very, very hard to live with. Now, was that an invalidation? Or would he be okay? Let's see. Nothing come up down in our newsfeed thing on the right there. Oh, last corner though, that would have been a kick in the teeth. He was all good until right towards the end of the lap there. And we'll never know quite how quick that was. So let's go on, let's find someone who's near the end of their lap. It's Tam again, second to last corner. Evening, DJ Dadboss. Evening. Hope you're all good. So Tam, does he improve? Only a quarter of a tenth needed to hop above Yoda. Again, no improvement, no. Oh, there's a car in the wall, last corner. I think that's D-stack. So that will be an invalidated lap. And a very sore back. Oh, and really improves, but not by quite enough. Just 11 thousandths of a second between him and Yoda at the top. So Yoda looking pretty good at the moment. J Hig as well in fourth at the moment, just over 2 tenths. Does not close that gap. AJ, last corner as well. A bit lucky with my camera picks here. I wish I could say I knew that was it's more luck than judgment, I think. So yeah, we saw D-stacks. He'll come back out of the pits now. Let's come on with Chaos Theory again in that orange Beamer. So he's quite early on in his lap, just coming up through the S's onto that long back straight again. So he's only 4 tenths back. Still, that gap has not changed. Where's Yoda on circuit? So Yoda, the other green car on circuit. Last couple of corners. Come on board with Wizard U again in a second, see how he's faring. Does he improve his time? He does not. Hawaiian Rush, thank you very much, man. Really, really appreciate that. Resub with Prime, thank you so kindly. Yeah, really do appreciate that. Oh, nice. I don't have a clue what that is, but yeah, thanks for it nonetheless. So look at that top four now. Less than half a tenth between them. Tam now down to fourth. So let's go back on board with Richard. He's improved by half a second. Actually, he put the wrong car number in when he selected his car. I think that's the car number 10, so I'll quickly change that. So that'll be important when we bring up the standings in just a little bit. So J Hig, oh look at that, J Hig pops up in the time. Yes, I didn't notice that. So yeah, Joe popped down to second. That was why Tam went down to fourth. So I'll get there eventually. Oi, leg, watch it. That's Wizard U, not going any faster. That is him done. So Yoda, can he nab his pole position back? This will be his last chance. That is not a good second to last corner. Yeah, he's done. So looked like he was on for a pole very early on. Oh, really getting that very wide. Very much going hard or going home, and doing a bit of neither, really. Good DJ, good DJ. Good to hear. So Tam is done. Top four are all finished. So it looks like J Hig is taking pole position, unless AJ or D-Stack or Captain Crampy or Mr. Fish can do something about it late on. AJ pushing really hard, going around that final corner. Use a little bit of that curbing and launch it as straight as you can down towards the line. Does he improve? Does not. I think D-Stack is done as well. So just Captain Crampy still on circuit. I know, man. Yeah, the whole championship's going to be like this, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's going to be amazing. And Captain Crampy is done as well. So there we go. J Hig, what a superb start. Well done to J Hig there on that pole position. The two green cars, clearly the quickest livery, must be. Takes pole position in a 1:12.136, but look how close it is between the top four, less than half a tenth. Just disgracefully close. Yoda in second, Willie Blackhammer in third, Khan Big Tam in fourth. There your front two rows. AJ in fifth with D-Stack in sixth. Chaos Theory, defending champion from the Radical SR3 RS Championship, down in seventh, only just over 4 tenths back though, so very little gap really when you think about it. Crunk Chronic in eighth. We have Captain Crampy in ninth, Mr. Fish in 10th, and then was due down in 11th. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'd only possibly Chronic. I'm not sure if he did do radicals. To be honest, he's just not as good in the touring cars. He can be pretty. I mean, he won races in the Radical Championship leg, but Beamer is slow here as well. You're going to see that as well. Certain tracks, the Beamer will be brilliant. Others, it'll just struggle. And yeah, it's just a few of the corners around it. It's not too good, but yeah, superb that by Jay Higgs. It's going to be very interesting. Not the easiest first couple of corners. So there we go, all readied up nice and quickly. So let's see how this goes at the start. Hopefully nice and cleanly. 3 red lights are all up. And we're away, and it all looks like we're away cleanly. No invalidated starts. Yoda, though, getting the better start off the line, off the front 2. Pops it up into first position, coming into turn number 1. Willie in third. Tam and Carl Steery so closely in behind. AJ as well in 6th. Oh, we've had... where's Captain Crampy's car? Oh, there it is. So Crampy not getting the greatest start at the back, so he's popped back to 11th, but he's still on the rear of the pack. Other than that, I think they got through the first couple of corners cleanly. So let's watch this queue coming down the long straight here, down towards the bus stop. Nice queue of cars. Everyone hitting their braking point nicely, hopefully. Oh, Jay Higg making a bit of a mess, though, of that entry. That could give him a time penalty, and really, there's no way on earth you can sit back and take the time penalties when the race is this close. Because you'd lose more time by doing that. You'd be back in 8th, 9th. You'd be at the back pretty quickly. Although saying that, a 2-second penalty can sometimes do the same if it's that close. Should have gone with the Astra. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, just Beamers and Renaults, which is what I'd expect to be pits. I thought we might have 1 or 2 more BMWs. I mean, the Renault is probably, for me, is a nice one to drive, but the Beamer, if you drive it rightly, is still very, very quick. So not too much movement early on. Jay Higg did get a time penalty. He's trying to keep as much of that slipstream as possible, though. He wants to get away from the guys behind. Keep a hold of that position, not let that time penalty take too much from him. What time penalty has he got? So it's just the 1 second at the moment. So nothing too bad for him. So yeah, if it's close, that will still hurt him. At the moment, he would lose 2 positions, so he's got to be careful. Tam all over the back of Willie Blackhammer. So where is Willie going to go? Is he going to go to the right and try and go for the shallow line and stop Tam going through? Is Tam even going to think about going for a move here? No, nothing stupid going through his mind just yet. He'll keep his powder dry, wait for another opportunity. Now just similar liveries. Yeah, just you normally get 2 liveries with the same colour, 1 normally with different numbers on the mirror, different colours on the mirror. That's normally it. We're just going to have a look there, but when he shuts the door, Tam's getting very close, but just can't quite find the right opportunity yet to try and make a move. His front 4 though, still getting away a little bit. Chaos Theory, AJ and D-Stack right in behind him. This guy's only a couple of seconds off of the lead, 2.5 seconds. So well, but Astra, yeah, yes. Astra's not bad, it just hasn't got enough grunt to actually do anything. It feels nice, it's just slow as hell. Unless you put it in the hands of someone very, very quick, which explains why I was awful in it. I was rubbish and slow. Yeah, I mean, fair play to him for trying to convince you, but he's wrong. I don't know how persuasive he is, but he's definitely wrong. No, the Megane's a better all-round car, but the Beamer, they're similar. Certain tracks favour certain cars. The Beamer, you have to get your good exits out the corner. It's got a better acceleration out of the corner. People say it's got a better top speed. I don't think it has. It's just got better acceleration, so it reaches its top speed faster. But the Megane is a bit more agile and thus a bit more of an all-rounder. Certain people just get on with one, and some people get on with the other. Sometimes it can flip-flop as easily as that, really. I'll go for that inside line again. So Tam's got a time penalty as well. So he's still trying to lead round Chaos Theory. He's still trying to defend from AJ and D-Stack. So these guys not really catching that group of 4 ahead of them. But yeah, the Astra's not so good. The Merc's not bad. The Merc, right, I'll be honest, the Astra's the slowest of the 4. I think it's the slowest TT car. Yeah, at the moment it's just uploading archive footage of streams. Yeah, I do need to announce that though in the Discord. Had our old one had a few issues unfortunately, so we created a new one. Just been chucking, as I said, archive footage on there at the moment, but yeah, more useful for people if they want to catch something from sort of yesteryear really, or yesteryear, yestermonth. Don't go that far back, as I said, new channel. So front two. Oh no, I've caught them just at the wrong moment there. That looks like J Hig has had a bit of a moment. Looked like Willie was on his right hand side and it's just caught him. Oh hello, there's Crampy getting it a bit sideways. So J Hig's had to rejoin here in 9th, and this will be 10th, possibly last in a second. So what happened there, I'm not sure. We'll have to catch that later on. Does look like maybe he had a bit of a moment on his own. It looked like it actually was a moment with Yoda, I think. It looked like all I saw was the 2 green cars next to each other. So haven't quite seen what happened there. Unfortunately, don't get the replay functionality in this game. AJ ahead of Chaos Theory though. Deep stack all over the back of him too. So there's McGann's all over that BMW, and it's struggling to keep them at bay. So AJ up to 4th, halfway through race number 1 now. But that link above should send you straight to it. It should just be On the Limit Community Racing, full name. But yeah, hopefully at some point we can have some bit more organic content, a little bit more instructional stuff and advice, you know, just helpful tips and tricks and bits and bobs like that. But not worried about that too much at the moment. So they're doing well to keep him behind. Let's got on board with the front two. I think Yoda having a... No, camera looked a bit weird from behind. Looked like he'd missed the bus stop. No, he gets around there just fine. So he's trying to catch these front two. Willie with no time penalty. Tam with the time penalty as well as J Hig and Captain Crampy. Let's have a look. So Tam is 2-second time penalty. Currently would drop him down just a couple of positions, so he would end up behind AJ. So he does have to be careful here. Still fairly close. So we unfortunately weren't privy to that off earlier on. So we don't quite know what happened there and who caused it, but so that's no issue there. So Tam still only 3/10 back. Yoda in a safe 3rd position at the moment. Oh, now Willie's got a time penalty. So let's have a look. So it's just a 1 second. But at the moment, so that would keep him keeping the win at the moment. But he just has to be careful. Very quickly, it could become 2 seconds, and at that point, Yoda would be very, very interested. Right on the cusp. Oh, thank you very much. It's not bad. Again, do need to get that announced and let people know that exists again. So that mid-pack nice and close to. Let's go back to Mr. Fish. Mr. Fish up in 7th. So ahead of Captain Crampy, you can see J Hig there. Our pole sitter. Not quite gone for him in the race. Again, not one to quite have the right luck when it comes to the races themselves. It's a bit of a shame, but I'm sure that will come. Okay, I'm not sure quite if it was him just having a crash next to someone else. It looked... it's a bit hard to see when we joined pretty much halfway through the spin. We're still doing well to be in and amongst it though. Still will get some half decent points. Still fighting. Trying to get him past Mr. Fish. But Mr. Fish holding on nicely. You can see there the runner just taking a little bit more curb. BMW having to be a bit careful. Captain Crampy trying to keep up with these two as well. Just to keep his nose clean and just keep interested. 2.5 minutes to go now. So come down to turn 1 again. Let's go back on board with the front runners, see how they're faring. So pulled away a little bit, you can see here Yoda, 2.1 seconds. So he's lost a couple of tenths, which obviously will matter if Willie gets another 1 second time penalty. Let's just double check he hasn't got another penalty. No, it's just the 1 second still. So it's Captain Crampy with 2 second penalty and J Hig with the 1 as well. So a few time penalties to be dished out. Oh, a bit of a nightmare there from Willie. And through Tam goes. But again, time penalties could play a part here. You can see Yoda was caught up by a good few tenths due to the last half a lap. So he's pushing now. So he's in with a chance of taking the win here. Obviously started on the front row, started in 2nd place. And he still might feature in the first couple of places on the line. Just 1.5 minutes to go, so we have 2 more laps remaining. Onto their penultimate lap now. Tam just ahead of Willie Blackhammer. Yoda still holding 3rd. AJ driving away a bit from the guys behind him. He looks like he's on for a good finish here in 4th. Chaos Theory still defending from D-Stack. The American again keeping his upward trajectory, always improving. His results are just getting better and better, mixing it more and more with the quickest guys. So really looking forward to seeing him just get better and better. And really solid driver too, really cracking guy. Our pleasure that he races here. So yeah, hopefully he'll have a good last couple of laps. See what's get past Chaos Theory. He's been very close to him all race, just hasn't quite got close enough to make a move. Kasseri doing well enough just to keep that pace just so. Saying that, you can see, hugging that apex, he's like trying to go the long way round. She's still caught up a little bit there. It's not the quickest line around that corner. Just letting AJ disappear up in the distance. Unfortunately for them, Jay Higg, he's having a bit of a nightmare, poor thing. So he's back in 11th at the moment, so he might finish, or with his time penalty, most likely to finish at the back, unfortunately. Thinking of having a look up the inside of Chronic though. Chronic goes a little bit wide, pops him onto the curb, so Jay Higg gets back through. So on to the final lap now. So Tam got a decent lead, but again, let's look at that penalty. So 2-second penalty, so he would finish behind Yoda. So at the moment, Willie would win the race, I believe. My rudimentary math, I'm pretty sure that Willie would win the race. So he's got to be careful here, not to pick up another time penalty as Willie. Just try not to be too impatient, try not to push too hard. He looks like he's on for a solid start to his championship. Obviously top 3. There's 3 races, this is number 1, so yeah, there's still 2 qualifying and 2 races to go. So about another hour or so of racing. Yeah, it's a good race format. This really works superbly with the Xbox guys with the small grids. The 3 races. The Tam last couple of corners. We'll have to see how these penalties are handed out as they come over the line and see what difference they make. So Tam round the final corner, really solid drive from him. So what will happen here though with the penalties? I think he knows he hasn't got this one. Will he pop up ahead of him? He will. Will Yoda move up ahead of either of them? No, he won't. So Tam does still take second, but Willie takes the win with Yoda in third spot. There, your podium sitters. They will not qualify for race number 2. Chaos Theory, first time in 4th position outside of those who will qualify for race 2. And look at that, they was all that close that they've already all finished. Don't even get time to read them all out. So there we go. Let's go through the result there. So Willie Blackhammer, great win there. Who got the fastest lap? I shall say for replay as well. So fastest lap was a 1:11.676 from Willie there. Yeah, but it is the fastest lap. So got the win with the fastest lap. Congrats there to Willie Blackhammer. He takes the extra point as well for that fastest lap. Tam in second, Yoda in third. Like I say, none of those 3 qualifying after those penalties were applied as well. Only half a second between all 3. It was only 14 thousandths difference between Tam and Yoda. So Tam could have ended up in third there. Very, very close. Chaos Theory in 4th. As I said, that's sometimes quite a savvy place to finish. Get good points, but you get to qualify next race. AJ in 5th, another good drive from him. Just ahead of D-Stack. Just over a 10th between the 2 of them in that mid-pack there. Captain Crampy and Mr. Fish, 7th and 8th. And we have Chronic and Wizard U, 9th and 10th. And then Jay Higg, yeah, unfortunately, not going quite his way, down in 11th. Yeah, honestly, the beam around here is just not... Like, even Kalseri, who is utterly rapid, can only get that thing up to a 12 flat at its absolute best. And that would have been him pushing, trust me. Kalseri is different gravy. he's a bit good, is that chap. Yeah, some good driving now. Didn't quite see what happened with the with Jay Higg going round. We caught that pretty late in the day. But yeah, we will catch that afterwards, I am sure. So yeah, good race number 1. We're going to be in for much more of that this season. As I said, 2 more races still though this evening. So we'll make sure they all know I'm ready up, because I'm sat here waiting normally while they are sat there waiting for me. So yes, first week, Watkins, Glen short. Next week, we're at Snetterton at 200 for round number 2. Then we go off to Imola for round 3. Round 4, off to New Zealand for Ruapuna Park GP. Penultimate week, we're off to Germany for Hockenheim National. And then the final track of the season is Brands Hatch GP. So yes, an interesting calendar. Should be pretty... So finally Carlos hasn't won. I know! Put him in touring cars and he doesn't win those. Bottle job, isn't it? Terrible. No excuses. Calls himself an esports driver. Still probably got more people playing this than MS2 at the moment, which is a bit sad. But it'll come. Yeah, if we can get racing anything like this, sort of with 10 drivers that close. So it was pretty good last night. It was pretty solid. There weren't too many gaps there for quite a long time. So we've got 3 drivers in the BMW. They are Mr. Fish, Wizard U, and Chaos Theory. That's it. Wizard U will struggle a little bit as he's on controller. Especially against these guys, that's going to be hard to live with. But we know he's quick. And in Chaos Theory, you've seen what he did in there. Did pretty well in that first race. And in Mr. Fish as well. Like I said, not a great track for the Beamer. But yeah, it should be pretty awesome. See how they evolved during the championship as well. You know, first race, to be honest, was very, very clean from what I saw. It's quite a fast circuit, not that many twists and turns, so we might see a bit more incident when there's heavy braking zones. But yeah, so far so good. So all on their first out lap now for race number 2. You can see the 3 from race number 1, Willie, Yoda and Carmbig Tam. All being very good remembering. I don't think none of them need reminding anymore. They know how the format works. So yeah, they sat in the pits having to spectate. And yeah, we'll have to start from the back. Poor old Willie Blackhammer will be the very, very last slot on the grid. We'll be starting from 11th. Tam will be alongside him, and then Yoda will be up in 9th. So we'll start starting their hot laps now. So we're nice to get a good banker in early, and then hopefully they can push from there. They don't want to have to start panicking halfway through when they've invalidated their first 2 or 3 attempts. It's very easily done. It just does not set you up for a good quali. So good, half decent time in now. It's a few percent away from what you would normally do, and then you can push from there. Will give himself just a little bit of space, not too much needed. But we'll stay on board with Jay here because he did so well in race number 1. His 1:12.1 was pretty solid for pole position. 1:11.6 though in the race, so they very much got quicker and got better as the race went on. Possibly a few bits of slipstream here and there might have helped. But hey, if it's there, then make the most of it. So times will start coming in. 12.7 from D-Stack, 12.6 from Chaos Theory, 12.9 from Captain Crampy. So Jay Hick is in, he'll get some new shoes straight away. Wizard U, his first time 1:13.442. We saw a couple of drivers invalidating their lap, so Grunt Chronic come around the final corner. Well, look at that, 12.602. Very good lap that is. So might give himself a good chance there. AJ pushing. Okay, it looks like he invalidated his first flying lap, so he's going for it again. So they're pretty close from all the drivers who have completed the laps so far. And look at that, AJ with a 12.2 straight up into the top spot. So cracking. That from him, he gets straight back into the pit. So 12.5 as well from D-Stack. So improvements already. You can see I think the quality time from race 1 would only get you in 5th or 6th at the moment. Jay Higg on his lap as well. Just about to come over the line. I think he might have invalidated again. So again, like I said though, you want to get a banker time in. He's invalidated his first 2, so we're 5.5 minutes in, and that would have probably invalidated this lap. Yeah, because he invalidated late on the previous, it invalidates this lap as well, so he's got to be careful here. He's got to get around cleanly, and then have another go. So AJ still 3/10 clear at the top, so it's a good start for him. Let's find someone else who's near the end of their lap. They seem to be picking all the drivers on the same part of the track at the moment. Let's see where D-Stack is. Currently in second. Second to last corner, coming through to the final bend. And Joe 17, he would have found out eventually on his own, I'm sure. Let's be honest. So D-Stack coming up to the line to improve. He does, but not by much. About half a tenth there. 112.485 straight back to the pits. AJ getting those tyres warm for another go. Still Mr. Fish coming down towards the line. Improves again, but not by enough to quite catch those guys. Up ahead, Captain Crampy in fifth as well, just behind the Chaos Theory. 12.605 and 12.644 between them. Chronic improves again, 12.406. So he's just coming down towards turn one. Another good lap from him too. He's improving yet again. Hop straight back into the pits, so maybe he's done. Maybe he'll. I would imagine it'll be cooking the tyres a little bit. Fairly warm circuit. Wizard U not doing too badly, a bit closer than he was in the first race. That is quite sideways. I mean, it's not quick, but it looks great. Let's be honest. Entertaining, but not fast. But I'm sure he's having a whale of a time if you're driving it like that. Good effort to get that BMW doing that. As you can see, not the easiest. Understeery little thing. Oh, do you? It's really possible. Honest, your car can probably do that. So I fancy your chances. So they're doing what he does best. Still pumps in a cracking time. So I did say you've got to be careful, but he's still been able to nail one. Crunk on it. Let's see what he can do. And didn't have a great first race. Coming down towards the line again. He'll have another couple of attempts. Or 3 if he really wants them. We'll go straight back to the pits though. That's generally what we see. No. AJ coming through the bus stop. And see Chaos Theory, how is he doing? So, a couple more corners to go for him. Getting past, I think that's Mr. Fish. And looks like Captain Crampy right behind him, using a little bit of slipstream, which is savvy driving. Yeah, doing well there. Didn't do quite well as well as he wanted in the first race, but he's done pretty well so far. So, neither Chaos or Captain Crampy improving there. Mr. Fish coming over the line, still 7 tenths back. Wizard U. So he's just ahead of them on circuit. Chronic coming down towards the bus stop. No, sorry, he's not. He's done the bus stop. That's coming down towards the second to last corner. AJ's popped up into a 112.217. So he's our closest to the top. I think so, yeah, so I'm assuming, yeah, there we go. So I'm assuming Willie knows more than me, but I did say I think he was the one who might have been in Tier 2, yeah. So, yeah, on this qualified, it's the race that's the hard thing to nail. It's the pace you've got to do for 10 minutes consistently. And when it's that close, you make a decent-sized mistake, you're last. Pretty much definitely. Even if you don't go off that badly or spin, you can often end up last. Especially if you do it early. So they have to be careful. So 1 minute left. Yeah, it's pretty much it. It's pretty. Oh, it's amazing. I love seeing that. Hawaiian. I absolutely love seeing that. I want to see drivers just constantly getting a little bit. It's like I said about D-Stack earlier. I love seeing a driver who's just constantly. You can see that improving their craft, and they're getting a little bit quicker here, a little bit quicker there. Clean, consistent. It's time. It's the time you put in. You get it back. You can't get better without just putting that times in. So Wizard at the back in 8th. That's a solid time, that. And it's still nearly a second off of Jay Higgs' time. That's a cracking bit of qualifying still. So AJ still second. Jay Higgs looking on for possible second podium. So starting off very, very solidly. Oh, evening, Carl. Evening. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And he was good in them as well. Oh, he can absolutely hold his own in Tier 1. His style of driving, I think, really suits it as well. It's hard. It's properly hard. But the standard in Tier 2 is pretty solid as well. Let's be honest, that's going to only get better and better. But, yeah, the Xbox is still going very strong. It's been awesome to see. So, Jay Higg is in the pits. AJ coming around the final corner here. This will be him done for quality. I think everyone's pretty much going to be done because most of the cars were just in front of him on circuit. So did AJ improve? He did by half a tenth. Look at that, and they're all done that quickly after the checkered flag. And there we go. Let's get Jay Higg another pole position as 1:12.1, so quite a lot better than race number 1's quality time. But fair play to him. Jay Higg with a 1. Let's put this in. A 1:12. 1:21. Great time, well done. I'll be Willie to it. Never mind, Willie. Better luck next time. AJ with a second position now, only 400ths of a second behind Grant Cronick in third. Really solid showing from him. But I put it on the second row, so hopefully he'll make use of a good start here and really push on in the race. So it was only the middle sector you can see was where those two at the front really are beating the rest. So great driving from them. Captain Crampy up in fourth, so improvement again on race number 1. D-Stack in fifth. Mr. Fish in the sixth. Chaos Theory back in seventh, so not really doing as well as we thought he might. Thank you very much for the follow, Pete. Much appreciated. Ah, nice car. Good stuff. I'm assuming Wolf is in Tier 2, I believe. So lots of new names. A lot of new names to keep track of. So already up and all ready to go. Three lights are up now. And they're off. Jay Higg with a solid start at the front, two getting away very, very well there. No jump starts by the looks of things. Jay holding on to that lead coming around through turn 1. AJ right in behind. Oh, someone going very wide there. I think that was Captain Crampy. Yeah, gets it on nicely though. So did anybody have issue at the start? So yeah, Chronic. So what issue did he have at the beginning? Down into 10th already. So he'll be back of the grid. Like I said, you make a little mistake right at the start. He started in third, all the way back down to the back of the pack straight away. But again, if he's got the speed, we just a little bit of patience, he can make his way through the grid, I'm sure. Captain Crampy with a time penalty. Chaos Theory having a bit of a nightmare at bus stop. He's going to do very well to keep that away from the apex. That's absolutely superb driving. I know that sounds a bit weird that he's just crashed. You can see how actively there he's steered that away from the circuit to keep that off the coming away, keep that from coming back on track. So if he's done that, I think that's what he's done. And if so, it's really unbelievably good driving. So fair play. Mr. Fish up to 4th. Yeah, so clearly there was a few bits and bobs we didn't catch quite at the start. But yeah, some cars so close. Not surprised to see the odd thing happen here or there. So Castle, yeah, unfortunately at the back of the pack now as well as Chronic as well. It's a good quality from him, but not being able to make the most of it in the race. But still on the back of the pack. Chaos Theory having a harder time of it. That'll be 6 seconds off after that large spin. But these two, look at the breakaway they've made from everyone else. Captain Crampy holding on to third, just ahead of Mr. Fish. Not quite. No. You put him in the touring car, he's very much on everyone else's level. You said in 9th. That was Yoda, I think. When you said that he's in 9th at the moment. That was Yoda was in 9th when you said that. Oh, and we lost someone there. Who was that? That was... Crumbs, who did we just lose? We just lost the driver for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure quite who we lost. We'll work that out in a minute. Chaos Theory is still there. Chronic is still there. Blackhammer down towards the rear of the pack as well. So I think a couple more cars having a few issues. And that Chronic's still going strong. Was it still in the race as well? Was it D-Stack? Oh, it was D-Stack who we lost. That's a shame. So not quite sure what went on there. Yeah, Jay Higg, and they're still very commanding position. Let's look at the time penalties picked up so far. Just the 2 1-second penalties for Tam and Crampy. Tam does like a time penalty, bless him. Pushes that thing hard and yeah, pays with the odd time penalty here or there. Much more spread out though than race 1 so far. Well, who are you on about when you say Woof though? When you said 9th, it was Yoda, and that person's in 7th, but I don't know why you're calling him Woof. Yeah. So these two, look at that, there's a 3-second gap back to the next guy. So Crampy nice and safely in 3rd, but with that time penalty, you've got Mr. Fish holding off the pack of 3 behind him. So he's got Tam right up his trumpet, and then Wizard U and Yoda. So closely in behind. So he's going to go around the outside. Mr. Fish taking the defensive line here. Tam will try and go the long way round. Come down to turn 1. Yeah, Mr. Fish makes a dive for that apex nice and early. Tam was a slightly later turn in, but I think he'll benefit from that. Will he get alongside? Coming up the hill, this is going to be fun. This is not the easiest turn to go too wide around, but they will manage it. They'll give each other plenty of room. A little bit of a touch there. Fairly inevitable. Possibly a tiny little wall rub there from Tam. They're giving each other plenty of space. That's going to allow the 2 behind though to have caught them. So look at that, I think. Is he going to try and make it down the middle? He is, yeah, though to be fair. Yeah, that's poor driving. That's really, really poor driving. There's no way on earth Wizard U should be making that 3 wide. I think that was a bit risky personally. Poor fella. It might not be right there, but that didn't look like that should go 3 wide. That looked like a terrible idea. And inevitably a little tap on the corner of the car next to him. And yeah, off they went. So unfortunately, they've untangled themselves a little bit. So it's giving Mr. Fish a fair bit more room though. Tam in 5th. Up to 5th now. Yoda just behind him in 6th. Wizard back in 7th now. So we did lose a little bit of time after that. Chaos Theory holding on to wait. So Jay Higg though, he's got a time penalty. Trying to throw it that possible win away again. Just a 1 second. But as you can see, AJ's only 2 tenths behind. So yeah, that's going to put him in a tricky position now. He's going to have to push or hope that AJ gets a time penalty as well. Yeah, Mr. D stack. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see him disconnect very often. He's in the US, so maybe you would think now and again he might have a connection issue here or there. But very sideways from Jay Higg. Look at that, AJ all over the back of him. Slightly wide line in. But has not lost any ground at all. So these two's very, very far away from the cars behind. Just those couple of incidents. That one we saw, that one we didn't quite catch. Oh, a little bit squirrely there from AJ. But you can get a little bit of a slide on in his McGanns. So come down to start that number 6. Jay Higg still leading the way. AJ in 2nd. Catching Crampy. A little bit of space on his own there. 5 seconds clear from anyone else front or back. In 3rd, Mr. Fish. Still holding out with a group behind him. Tam trying to go around it down the inside into turn 1. And Yoda right in behind. Fish will go on the slight defensive line. Tam will stay as close as he can, but that's going to leave the gap here for Yoda to try and go up the inside. And Tam's going to have to leave him room, so Tam loses a spot there to Yoda. Yoda with a good move there. Up the hill. Fish is going to be a slight sitting duck here. We're giving them a slipstream. And he's got none like that to take from anyone in front. So it's going to be interesting for the car at the back of that train, which is Tam, obviously. You don't want to get too much slipstream down here, or it can be a little bit difficult to get the thing slowed down. But they'll get it through there nicely. This is not the easiest couple of corners, those. But very nice when you get them nailed, when you're in the groove. So these three in 4th, 5th and 6th. Still very close. That Fish going on the defensive. Yeah, again, so that Beamer isn't the strongest car around here, so he's having to get his elbows out very much. A little tap there, it looked like on Yoda and Tam, but nothing too bad. I think Yoda having to just react to Fish's slightly earlier braking. So again, he's going to be vulnerable. He'll go right very early here. But will he go right early enough? Because Tam will try and get down the inside, and he's got to try and not squeeze him too hard. But it does just take enough room off the inside. But Tam really wise there to go wide and go on the inside, a bit like Yoda has done to him. Yoda could have a go at Fish here as well. Look for the double overtake. Is he going to get this move made up the hill? Oh, a little tangle. Oh, and Fish is over. Oh, that's a bummer. But unlucky, like I said, it's a difficult corner to go too wide round. He's got to get that turned round and wisely turns away from the road as well to turn it. Which is the smart thing to do. So let's go with the front runners. Yeah, massive bummer for Mr. Fish that. But it's the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes cars that close. I don't think anyone really did anything wrong there. Just a couple of cars having a bit of contact. And, yeah, it was just a bit unfortunate the part of track it happened on, really. But still been a solid drive from him so far. Looks like Willie's having a bit of a nightmare as well. He's at the back, so he's had a couple of spins of his own. So Mr. Fish just ahead of him. These two a bit away from everyone else. I wonder if they might slow down and have a bit of a set two on the track for the last minute and a half, have a bit of a fight. Yeah, and they know, like I was talking to Mr. Fish before this, they know how close this championship's going to be because, you know, the cars are pretty similar. It's just, you know, there's going to be incidents here or there. It just is. That corner's not easy to go too wide round, and I mean, it wasn't a huge bit of contact. You just get one slight touch, and then, especially when there's three of you there, it's so yeah, it's not inevitable, but it's going to happen. So, you know, racing can't be clean 100% of the time, unfortunately. People make mistakes, we are all human. So we'll have one more lap after this. I'll just come around the penultimate lap. Let's have a look at those time penalties yet again. So it's still 1 second for Jay Higgs. So AJ's in a great spot here. If he's smart here, AJ will just sit behind. Well, Tam's got a 31-second time penalty, so that will... I'm imagining this because he allegedly overtook someone. Yes, pretty much why. And then someone ended up on their roof. Very much racing at its finest, that, isn't it? But yeah, I'm imagining that 30-second part of the penalty will probably be removed if it's... you know, it's unlikely that it's been a fair 30-second penalty, and if we generally can prove that, then that'll get removed. But AJ, again, he's got to be careful. If I was AJ, I'd sit in behind here. There's no need to fight. He knows he gets the win if he finishes where he is in comparison to Jay Higg now. All he's got to do, absolutely, DJ, abso-flippin'-lutely. No, you don't want to be too like intentionally rubbing, but like that was just unlucky, I think. So AJ again, smart money here. Just sit in behind as long as he finishes in. What was it within a second? Yep, it's still just a 1 second penalty. All he's got to do is sit in closely behind through these last couple of corners, not make any silly mistakes, not pick up a time penalty of his own. So Jay Higg, I think for not the first time, looks like he's going to cross the line here in the first position, but unfortunately not take the race win. So great drive again by Jay Higg. Comes across the line first, but AJ, there we go, pops it up into first. So really good drive from AJ, very fully deserves that. Jay Higg, unfortunately, again, losing a couple of positions down into, well, losing the one position this time down into second. Captain Crampy, fairly safe third spot. Tam will finish in fourth. I'm pretty sure he'll get that fourth back. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Wolf's in tier 2. I think I said that earlier. And we're only streaming tier 1, unfortunately. Can't really do both. But yeah, sorry, man. But yeah, great drive there from Jay Higg, and a great drive from AJ, keeping it in behind, just doing the smart thing. So I'm pretty sure Tam. So I'm going to let me have a quick bit of maths. So Tam was, where was he? He was safely in fourth. So pretty certain. I'm pretty certain that 30-second penalty will be removed. It's very rare that it doesn't, put it that way. So AJ, who got the fastest lap? Let's have a quick look at that before we come off this screen. Was there only one driver in the 111s? There was. It said retired. So unless he had an issue there. So yeah, didn't disconnect. It was a retirement. So I don't know. Not quite sure. Jay Higg, though, only driver in the 111. So 111, 898 there. Well done. To Jay Higg. Superb time in second spot. There we go. Got the replay. Lovely stuff. Let me just put a few times in here to help out Mr. Willie putting in the results. But no, we'll give Tam will get fourth because I'm fairly certain that will be where we know that's where he finished. Yeah, so there might be a slight change in the order after we're done. We'll put them in as it's provisional because we'll want to check for proof later on. to see what happened, see exactly what he did. I don't know what happened to you there. That was Mr. Fish. That was poor old Fish. There was a few cars going. There's 3 cars very close coming up the hill, and yeah, that transpired roughly how you saw. It was a bit unlucky, but there we go. Those things happen. Like I said, I think Fish will feel too ill toward them. But yeah, I think Tam will go back to 4th, so the points we'll see in a minute will be a little bit provisional. And who came 5th? It was Mr. Wizard U. Okay, now we'll actually tell you what. Now we'll do the points. I think we know Tam's going to get that removed. Let's just, yeah, but Willie's already on it. So there we go. So Wizard U puts him in there. Lovely stuff. So cheers, Willie, for that. So yeah, we'll do the points now in a second. And they are. We'll put Tam back in 4th. So unless that we find out that he was doing something really naughty to get a massive penalty, this should be correct. All good. And then Mr. D Stack at the back, unfortunately not finishing the race. It was a DNF. So yes, not a bad second race. Just one more to go then for our 3rd and final race of the evening. So much more spaced out, that second race. A couple more incidents, I think, that just spread that field out a little bit early on. And his beamer feels. I bet his beamer is better as aerodynamic in the air as it is on the floor, to be honest. But yeah, not a bad drive still. Not a bad drive. So we'll look at the standings in just a couple of minutes once we are into qualifying for tonight's final race. So just getting ready to go, and then we go again for, I said, the final race of the evening. Right, give me 2 seconds, chaps. Just got to quickly sort something, and so that I don't have to suddenly disappear mid-race. 2 seconds. Anyways, all good. Don't have to suddenly sort something out mid race. So, anyways, let's get into final race of the evening. It's been cracking stuff so far. Hopefully, more of the same yet again, with less upside down cars, which would be good. A few more wheels on the tarmac. Bob Buckley 1, thank you very much for the follow. Hugely appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed any of the racing you've caught so far this evening. Any questions, just give us a shout in the chat. More than happy to answer whatever you may throw our way. Yeah, much appreciated for the follow. So 3rd and final race, we will obviously see AJ, J-Hig and Captain Crampy will sit in the pits due to their podium finishes in that second race. So let's go on board with. Let's go and watch a BMW the right way up. And let's have a quick look at the standings as they are after 2 races. So you can see currently AJ leading the way, but only by a single point from Tam. So 5th and a 1st, playing a 2nd and a 4th. And very, very similar outcomes. We've got Yoda in 3rd on 48 after his 3rd and 5th positions tonight. Willie Blackhammer very much the two extremes, a 1st position and a 10th. So yeah, you can see what this league can bring to you. It can bite pretty hard on 44 points. 2 ahead of Captain Crampy, who's on 42 in 5th. We've got J-Hig in 6th, again 2 pole positions. But an 11th in the 2nd position puts him back in 6th. But you see he's only 16 off of the top spot still. Chaos Theory on 39, just a point further back. We've got Wizard U on 26. We've got Mr. Fish and Crunk Chronic swapping their 8th and 9th place finishes so far. 9th and 10th in the championship. And then we've got D-Stack down in 11th position. Oh, much appreciated, Juan and AJ. Thank you very much. I coded that myself. That's why it's kind of funky, but not funkier. But it does the trick, doesn't it? It means we can bring you nice updated graphics live as they happen, pretty much. So we can bring you the points very, very shortly after the race. So partly due to Willie really helping out put the points in after he's finished racing. Very, very, very kind of him. It enables us to show you all what is happening as it happens. So we should see some times coming in very shortly. Not quite sure who got over the line first. We'll stay on board with Mr. Fish though. So by the time he comes across the line, we should see quite a few times being set. Well, that's an irritating thing to happen, isn't it? My controller's fully charged, but it's absolutely balked, I think. Right, so hopefully we should be back with you. Everything's fine. Anyways. Good old electronics. So Tam, with a great time out of the gate. 1:12.2, 1:12.3 from Yoda and Willie. So there's some really good times been set straight away. Chaos Theory in 4th, 1:12.781. Mr. Fish with his 13.042. Crunk Chronic 1:13.1. Hopefully you can make a better start of this 3rd race. Got a good qualifying for race number 2 and then just couldn't quite take advantage of it. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a better time of it in race number 3. So we always love to see these drivers having a good race. Pushing up from, let's say, 2nd tiers, and just it's amazing. It's so really satisfying about watching the driver just improve and get better and better and get quicker and quicker and move forward all the time. So yeah, I'm rooting for him for sure. Yeah, a couple of amazing times already. 1:11.6 from Tam. That's all right. You see how we drive. He'll get time penalties in the race. It's fine. All you got to do is be within about 4 seconds of him. Ronda Power, thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Not really slowing down there. So some cracking times from the top 2. They've pulled away. Yeah, hacking, possibly. Like I say though, time penalties are pushing so hard you can't take the slowdown, so you have to take the time penalties. So they become a factor very, very quickly. So 1:11.698 from Tam, 1:11.855 from Willie. So unbelievable times. But hey, it will all depend what they can do in the race. Let's go on board with Willie for a bit then. No, he's still going slow. You must know he's on stream. 1:11.698, not being improved on there. Still got half of qualifying to go. Wizard U, he's got a car just coming out of the pits. Nicely done. So hopefully that car will, yep, we'll just hold off. Let's go on board with D-Stack. Let's see what sort of time he can get in. So just 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go now. He's had that, yeah. gives you wings or an extra 20 horsepower, clearly. I mean, you see now he drives, he doesn't need wings, he just needs stabilisers. Drives like a madman. In a good way, obviously, but... He does very much like to drive it like he's stolen it on occasions. But hey, it seems to work for him. Let's come on board with. Not doing too badly, but it's a little bit off the pace. Those times looking worse further back. They're not that bad though. 1:13.1 wouldn't have been that far off in race number 1, but they've they very much get quicker very quickly as the league goes on. You just see the standard improve at an immense rate, really. Up to 4th, Casteri, 1:12.564. A couple of tenths back from Yoda still though. Very Yoda on track. So he's just come up to the bus stop. Let's try and find someone a little bit further around their lap. No, that couldn't be earlier in his lap if he tried there. To come out to the first corner. Chronic within there's a full second now though. 1:12.677. Yes, I mean they're not the most. I'm sure if they were that good, then more teams would put wings on there. You know, it's good from a marketing point of view, but like in terms of real physics, not so sure. I'd rather just have a turbo, you know. Much more likely to just do the job, really. Kick up the backside down the straights. See what Yoda can do here then. So 1:12.3. Does he improve? No, he doesn't, so they are struggling to push any further forward. Chaos Theory currently in 4th. Tam in the pit, so he might be done then. Unless he gets back out of the pits nice and sharpish. That's like Mr. Fish just behind here as well. So Chaos Theory going across the line. Does he improve? 1:12.564. He does not go any faster. Mr. Fish. That's still just over a second back. God, that's a very Scottish comment, isn't it? I mean, you're right though. Oh, you know when I say, can everyone speaking English, please? We can't moderate it when it's in like a foreign language. I'm sort of borderline whether I should say that there. I'm not quite. I'm not sure, but you do very much drive. I've said it for about 4 seasons. Oh no, actually, to be honest, Tam, I've been saying it about the way you drive for quite a while. I think drive it like you stole it was a term I started using mostly on you. Because when you're driving, it's normally sideways. That or upside down on occasion. You're not a boring conservative driver, you know what I mean? I don't mean it in an offensive way, as you know. Not necessarily aggressive either, you just, you know. You give it some swang. Oh yeah, no, yes. Some are very, very gentle, very, you know, slight, particular, like, they're not ragging the car. And then you've got people like Tam, who is trying to drive it about 5 miles an hour faster than it wants to go at every given stage. In a straight line, round a corner. It works though, it absolutely works. He's quick. Good lord, he's quick. So, 42 seconds to go. 3 guys at the back, already in the pits. Obviously, J-Hig, poor thing, having to start at the back. So very much the opposite of his 2 pole positions so far. Very weird evening for him. Qualifying's been first and last. It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like I said, hopefully he'll start transferring it into good league points. Just not quite gone his way this evening. So these amazing lap times at the front. So Chronic in 3rd again. Did improve up to a 1:12.2. Hopefully we'll have a better start to the 3rd race than he did middle race of the evening. That'll be Willie done, I think. Got in the corner a little bit too much on the entry there. Yoda invalidating his lap as well. It's gone by D-Stack. He was just behind Willie on circuit there, so we could just about see him in the camera shot. Hey, it's where whoever offers you their money, you take, you know, advertising, the dollars are the dollars, you know, just take what you can get. So coming up to the line now, any improvements here? Not sure, let's find out. So no, I think he marginally improved, but not by much. So Tam there, superb qualifying. I mean, that time very early was pretty much unbeatable. That's such a solid time for the front two. See, they're gaining so much time on that first sector. So let's put that in there. And that's when he's beat me to it. Here he is, good boy. Yeah, Tam with that top spot, 1:11.698. Going to probably be the quickest lap of the evening by a margin, I think. Willie Blackhammer in second, 1:11.855 with Chronic sitting in third on a 1:12.221. So a little bit more spread out in that mid pack, a bit closer. Yoda with D Stack, Chaos Theory, Mr. Fish in seventh, Wizard U down in eighth. And then we have AJ, Captain Crampy, and J Hig for finishing in the top three in race number 2. So yeah, these Xbox leagues do produce some great racing. It's very close between all of them. We've had this for a good long while now, probably a year and a half, where it's so competitive. You can have quick drivers that can finish second one race, ninth the next, fourth the next, win the next one, finish eighth the next one. It can flip-flop, and the touring cars probably give you that the most. Cars like the Radical we did in the previous season, quite hard to race. Certain people will just click onto those much more than others, and some struggle. So, the red lights are all up. This is race 3 1. This is the final race of the evening, and they are away. Will Tam hold on to that lead? He does not. Willie's got a great start on the outside. He should be able to cut across for the first corner, though. So Willie up into the lead. Tam in second. Yoda in third. We've had don't think we've had too much order changing as of yet. Chronic. Yeah, get that out quickly. Chronic. It's got Wizard U on his inside, so they'll have to make their way through nicely, and does so very well there. It's good driving for both of them. So still nice and close in that mid-pack. D-Stack wanting a bit of that action. Right behind Wizard U on the inside of Chronic, so it's going to be interesting to see how they work their way through that bus stop. That's right. If you don't tell them Hawaiian, I won't. So, all good here. This is probably more interesting. Well, I appreciate you taking the risk. That's very kind. So the back three haven't improved as of yet. They haven't pushed up Chronic. That's gone back a little bit, unfortunately. So he's down into 8th, D-Stack. Still amongst it though, again still so close all throughout the pack, so many people to fight with. So Willie, good first lap from him, coming around to the final corner, not penultimate corner, yeah, final turn, there we go, and keeping it nice and tidy. So top 4, you can see all in shot there, Willie with Tam just behind Yoda. Chaos Theory is probably as close to the front as he has been all evening so far. Can he pull one out of the bag here in the final race? Push that beamer forward. That is not how. I mean, it's entertaining, Willie, cocking the leg like that on stream, but it's not the quickest way to get it round. So he pops back into second now. Tam up into the lead yet again. So we've had a lot of people finishing in a good position and losing the win due to time penalties. So that's very close from Yoda. He's got up to the back of Willie, probably a little bit too quick though. He's had to let off there, and look how much that's cost him. So he's actually going too quick, too early in the corner. He's had to lift off the throttle. And it's actually cost him a position in the end, just to not putting out early enough around to the outside. And he ended up having to lift off completely. So just a little bit of race now there. Just got caught out a bit by being a little bit too quick. Wish I had that problem. I haven't been fast on here for some time. There's a reason I'm sat here and they're sat there. So again, Willie, I think, having to drive it a little bit Tam style there. Tam looking pretty clean actually so far. So still a nice train of cars. The whole grid's still within 4 seconds. Chronic unfortunately at the back now. He's been struggling a little bit on the start of the races at the moment, but that will come. He's not raced with these guys in league settings before. And to be honest, from what I've seen so far, he's going to have no trouble. It's just going to be in the customisation thing. It's just going to be adapting to it. It does look, it looks great to us. It's not so great for him. Entertaining, yes. Effective, not so much. But I appreciate him doing it for entertainment reasons. Same though, a car flipping, it looks kind of cool, but I mean it's really crap if you're the driver. Well, that looks like a possible time penalty will be coming the way of Tam. That pretty much certainly looked like a cut exit. Yeah. But we very much appreciate it, Willie. Thank you so kindly for that dramatic driving. But they're driving very well at the front, mid-pack. Let's go and have a look. So Yoda, still all over the back of Chaos Theory. Not been able to make that jump ahead of him though yet. So the beamers around here do have to get pretty defensive. We'll see it being strong around other circuits. It's just not too great round here compared to that McGann. Pulls out of the slipstream just a little bit. Gets slowed down nicely for that first corner. A little bit wide there from Chaos. Again, Tam has got a time penalty. Let's have a look and see what that penalty was. So it's the 1 second straight away and 2 seconds for Wizard U, 2 seconds for Crampy and 1 for Chronic. Jay Higg and Wizard U having a bit of a set too. Oh, yeah, just as I come to it. And, it looks like being squeezed a little bit there into the wall, so that's cost Jay Higg there. He's at the back. I think we might see a couple of incidents being reported tonight. Wouldn't be surprised at all. So that's unfortunate. He's now got to catch up back to the pack. Didn't quite catch that, but again, we'll see replays afterwards. If anything's reported, they'll chuck it in with some evidence. I'll have the replay saved as well in case it's needed for worst case scenario. Top 4 though, still within less than 2 seconds. Chaos Theory looking down the inside of Yoda. Yoda just about leaving enough room. Chaos Theory not been able to quite make it stick, so he slots in behind. And we'll have another go soon. Just waiting for that opportunity. Yoda going very wide down to the curb. That might be a time penalty. You can go a little bit too wide. Whether it needs actual contact with the ball, I'm not sure. We will find out pretty shortly though. So Mr. Fish just in behind, in 5th at the moment. D-Stat close in behind Glen. These guys only 3 and a bit seconds off of the lead, so yeah, Tam with that 1 second penalty, he could be careful not to build on that. Willie only half a second back. He'll be able to see that time penalty as well, so Willie will know exactly how close he'd need to stay to Tam to take the race win. So D-Stat trying to close that gap now. Having a better race 3 than race 2. I'm sure he's going to figure pretty nicely in the championship as it evolves. Same with Chronic. Yeah, I think definitely showing he definitely belongs up in the top tier for sure. And yeah, that race, the race execution is something that takes a little bit of while to learn around the quicker guys. Yeah, it's not quite nailing it at the moment, but that will come. 100% that will come. And it'll be awesome to see him improve as he goes. Captain Crampy and Chronic spread out a little bit now. Crampy, I think, well, they were quite close, but just Crampy pulled away a little bit now. In 8th, Chronic down in 9th spot. And you see Jay Higg and Wizard U at the back. So Wizard U made another mistake, it looks like. Has dropped to the rear of the grid. Gone ball with the front too, though. So it's quite a quick circuit for what we'd normally do in cars like touring car, but we haven't done this track for a while. Good fun in touring cars is Watkins, Glen, short. I do like the full GP layout though. I will say that. That would be quite a long lap in these. There are some longer races coming later in the season. Brown Touch GP got longer tracks involved as well. We normally do that, a couple of longer circuits in the season. 3/4 of a second the gap, and as we saw, 1 second that time penalty, so that could still bite Tam when it comes to the end of the race. Just under 3 minutes remaining now. So come round one more time. Sounds like my controller's about to die again. New controller, I think, in the offing. Flipping the equipment. Now you can't win sometimes. Fully charged battery, and it still dies. So these two very clear of third. Yoda holding on to that third nicely. He's actually 1.8 seconds clear now of Chaos Theory. Just coming up the hill there. Mr. Fish though, D-Stack right in behind him. So Fish on for a 5th spot if you can hold on. But D-Stack will be intent and trying to at least put some pressure on him in these final couple of minutes. So AJ a little bit further back, hasn't quite gone for him. Like I said, you know, won the previous race, great pace. But everyone in this is so similar in pace that actually getting from the rear of the pack to the front, very, very hard. There is not that differential in sheer speed between the cars and the drivers that you just don't see much changing. Let's go on board with D-Stack again, very close to the back of Mr. Fish now, so he's very much got a fight on his hands. So they'll have a couple more laps. So penultimate lap now starting. On D-Stack all over him. Mr. Fish having to go into full defensive mode. He was doing that very well earlier on. He's doing it yet again. He knew he'd said to me at the start of the evening with the beamers that he'd have to be getting his elbows out. Goes very shallow into that first turn. You can see he starts turning in and pointing it towards the apex very early. Doesn't go for the wide entry line. But yeah, seems to be working for him well enough. So fair play to him for that. So let's go on board now, see what that gap is. That gap hasn't really come down. Oh, it's actually saying that it might have gone up just a little bit. Is it still 1 second? It is. So that time penalty is still 1 second, and it is borderline now. It is half a tenth from Tam keeping the win to Willie taking the win, and that gap is just getting bigger a little bit. So Tam needs another half a tenth to try and take this win and stop that penalty robbing him of a victory. No, he's going to say one more lap. Yeah, he's got one more lap after this. So you can see he's pushing hard here. Willie doing all that he can to try and stay within that second, and Tam is going to start maybe being a bit more risky. It depends on whether he's happy to take a second spot. The points would add up nicely. If I was him, I'd maybe just keep your nose dry. Just try not to take too many risks. You do not want to end up spinning it or flipping it. It could very quickly end up in 5th or 6th in no time at all. You saw Yoda there, 2.5 seconds back, not that far back at all. But Willie's still just within 8 tenths, so he's still looking on for a solid finish. Couple with Mr. Fish and D-Stack again. D-Stack still all over the back of him. Chaos Theory coming into view as well. Did not have a good last lap, a 13.0 from Chaos. He's only just half a second ahead of these guys. If they could catch him on the final half of this lap. It's gone board though with Tam, the front runner. Can he eke out that little bit of time, that final bit of time, to keep the win? It's going to be very, very close. He's had a good couple of corners there. But it's still, the gap is roughly the same. It's at half a tenth. It's very small margins now going to make the difference. Neither of them here. They'll be concentrating so hard trying to make sure that neither of them make a mistake. Tam, where you have to use all of the runoff you can. Willie there, you can see doing exactly the same. And I think Willie there has nailed that final corner absolutely perfectly. As long as he doesn't get a time penalty, he will take the win. Well done, Willie. Unlucky there to Tam, but great driving from both of them. Yoda with the final podium spot. Chaos Theory will bring it home in 4th though. More good points for him. Mr. Fish just holding off D-Stack in 5th and 6th. AJ just ahead of Captain Crampy and Crunk Chronic Fish in 7th, 8th and 9th. Then we have J Hig. And then finally coming over the line, Mr. Wizard U. So again, all of them finishing within... well, yeah, that was unlucky, Tam. Yeah, you were like, I just want half a tenth. Please just sod off. Or just sod off a little bit. Like, don't go. You don't have to go away completely. Just go away a little bit. Now, great drive in from both of you. But superb, well deserved then for Willie, who got the fastest lap. Look at that, so close those top 3 laps were. But it is Willie Blackhammer, 1:11.933. He takes the fastest lap. Well done there. I'll put that in. 1:11.933, and he takes the fastest lap point. And they all finished as well. Good stuff here with you, unfortunately. Back in 11th, but still not doing too badly nonetheless. So Jay Higg as well, unfortunately in 10th. Had 2 good pole positions, but didn't quite go his way. Cheers, Frankie. That was good fun, wasn't it? It was great fun to watch. There's been some great driving. This championship will be like this, honestly. Every Tuesday is going to be well worth a watch. They're going to be so close the whole time. So yeah, do make sure you tune in. But yeah, some great driving. Well done to all of them. I think I've already said the replay. I'll do it again. You never know. So yeah, we'll get the points up for you in 2 seconds. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. It's exactly how I thought it would go this evening. Quite clean, you have to be honest. I didn't see too much go wrong. We saw a couple of possible incidents, but beyond that, it was not too bad at all. So yeah, superb from everyone involved. Let's go back to the race central. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm seeing the back. Can't wait to see the back of that track. Yeah, did all right though. Didn't do too badly, I have to say. So, anyways, on that note, let's go and see what the standings are after tonight's 3 races. So, as you can see there, Tam, 87 points, holds the lead ahead of Willie Blackhammer by 7 clear points. Yoda on 75, sitting in 3rd. Another good podium spot for him in the 3rd race. 3 consistent races from him as well. 2 3rd spots and a 5th tonight. So yeah, holding in 3rd in the championship. He's 4 ahead of AJ. AJ had a good evening as well. Got a win in race number 2. We got Chaos Theory in 5th, 2 4th places. with a 7th in the middle. Captain Crampy in 6th on 54. J Hig on 48. So yeah, unfortunately had the pace tonight, just didn't quite work out for him. No worries, AJ. Cheers for the solid racing, dude. We have Mr. Fish back in 8th in that Beamer as well. D-Stack in 9th. That DNF in race number 2, not helping him there. Wizard U in 10th. And then Crunk Chronic in 11th. Did show good promise though, Crunk Chronic, and fully sure that he is going to push forward in this championship. You saw he had decent pace, and he wasn't slow in the races by any stretch. He's just got to get used to the guys he's racing now. Very different to tier 2. It's just very different drivers. It's so much more ruthless that you have to be so careful, because any little mistakes, and I do mean little mistakes, you will lose tons of positions, sometimes end up at the back. And I'm talking not even spinning, I'm talking just going quite wide at a corner can be toast for you if you do it in the first 2 or 3 laps. But yeah, great driving from all of them nonetheless. So yes, that was some superb racing. So next week, as I said, we are at Snetterton 200 layout, so that's going to be pretty epic. As always, that's normally provides some pretty handy racing. And some difficult corners. It can still be a fairly challenging circuit, but no, it should still be pretty awesome. So I am back again on Thursday. First round of our GT3 League on the PC Assetto Corsa Competizione. Full 40 driver grid. And we are at Zolder for round number 1 of season number 5. So do join us then. That should be pretty awesome. On Friday, we've got the first evaluation race for the BMW 235i Championship. We have starting shortly. That's at the Red Bull Ring National. No worries, Chaos Man. Again, appreciate the driving tonight. And then on Saturday, we are at Monza. We have our qualifying and Super Pole for our 6-hour Monza race the following week. So yes, qualifying, 30-minute qualifying session followed by a 10-minute Super Bowl for the top 10 from the first qualifying session, and they will battle it out for those top spots. So yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. And then, as I said, the 6-hour race itself will be the Saturday afterwards on November the 7th. So really looking forward to that. Should be amazing. But yeah, there's good driving all round. I said next Monday as well to round out the next week. I am on Automobilista 2 again for our sprint race league, and we are at Jerez with the chicane layout next Monday. So you do catch a bit of that. Automobilista 2, well worth a watch. Cracking game's only going to get better as well, so I'm glad we're doing leagues on that nice and early. And yeah, brilliant to watch too. So yeah, no worries, Yoda. Great racing, everybody. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. So yeah, cheers everybody for watching tonight. I appreciate the new follows. Very kind of you as always. Any questions, do shout us a question in Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord already, it is otlracing.com/Discord. I'll quickly type that link in the chat for you here, if it will actually work. Let's try that again. Discord. There we go. So yeah, join the Discord if you're not already in there. Ask any questions, get involved, or if you just want to keep watching, that is all fine by me too. Thoroughly appreciate your time as always, your eyes and ears. I know you could be watching or listening to anybody, so yeah, thank you very kindly. I hope you enjoyed the racing tonight. And yeah, so I will catch you again on Thursday for the first round of our ACC League on PC from Zolder. Until then, have a fine Tuesday evening. I hope you have a good Wednesday. And yeah, I will catch you again on Thursday night for a bit of ACC. So take care, see you all soon, and goodbye.